Panther is gone. They have lost their protector.
The film begins by showing Shuri, who was trying to treat her brother, King T'Challa, who was dying of an undisclosed disease. All of Shuri's efforts are in vain, because Wakanda now has no more purple liver plants, so T'Challa is declared dead. King's funeral procession, T'Challa was carried out with great wisdom and emotion, and was attended by all the citizens of Wakanda. 1 year later at the Assembly of the United Nations, we will see several countries, one of which is France, who are cornering Wakanda regarding those who do not want to share vibranium, even though previously the symptoms had opened world access to Wakanda. Queen Ramonda, as the leader of Wakanda, now also explains that Wakanda will not share vibranium with other countries, because Wakanda is afraid that other countries will use vibranium for military weapons that can destroy the world, and sure enough it turns out that France has carried out an attack on vibranium mines in Wakanda. And luckily Doramali's troops led by Okoye can stop them, and luckily Wakanda this time forgave them, and just warned them not to explore vibranium again illegally. In the Atlantic Ocean at that time we will see a group of American joint forces who are looking for vibranium using a tracking device in the sea, and sure enough there is vibranium in it, but suddenly their signal is cut off, and one of the divers has mysteriously disappeared. There is a group of people in the sea who sing songs like hypnosis that make the troops on the ship even throw themselves into the sea. Whether they are human or not, the point is they are blue, and they continue to chase the head of the mission, namely Valentina Allegra the Fonte. Because of losing his protector, Wakanda is now putting back the protective shield to protect his city. In the lab, Shuri is seen making modern war costumes for the Doramali's troops. Queen Ramonda takes Shuri to the riverbank, and there Queen Ramonda burns T'Challa's white cloth as a sign that they are willing when T'Challa left. But not with Shuri, who still couldn't move on and kept sad remembering her brother's death at that moment. Something sounded from under the water, and a person appeared who had wings on his feet. Shuri and Queen Ramonda were surprised why he could penetrate Wakanda's shield, and Namor asked why T'Challa had to open Wakanda to the world. It had a negative impact on Namor's place of origin, which turned out to be where Namor's origins also contained vibranium, and was often exploited by outside countries, because T'Challa opened himself up to the world. Namor goes there looking for a scientist who has made a vibranium detection device, and asks Wakanda to look for the scientist, and Namor leaves a shell for Queen Ramonda as a tool to summon him. Queen Ramonda starts a meeting with Wakanda leaders, and also M'Baku discuss about Namor wanting to get a scientist, that if not he will attack Wakanda. On the other hand, Shuri is amazed to see the vibranium detector tool that Namor brought yesterday, because this tool is very complicated. Okoye invites Shuri to meet Rose's agent, and ask about the scientist who made the vibranium detector, because Rose's agent has a debt to Shuri. Finally told her that scientist it's at the university, and it turns out that Rose's agent was also involved in a joint operation looking for vibranium in the Atlantic Ocean yesterday. The inventor of the vibranium device was not a lecturer or professor, but only a child named Riri William. Riri also knew that Shuri was Wakanda's daughter, and Shuri explained because the vibranium detector was made, Riri Wakanda became a danger, and they wanted to take Riri to Wakanda. Before that, Riri went to his headquarters to pack his things, and when he wanted to go outside it turned out that there were already a lot of FBI soldiers looking for Riri, so Okoye and Shuri were forced to run away using Riri's car, and Shuri uses a motorcycle. Riri herself turns out to have an iron heart shoe, which she designed herself, but is still not perfect. And the chase began. They were finally able to escape from the FBI, but suddenly their car was attacked. It turned out that it was Namor's men named Atuma and Namora, who planned to take Shuri to a ditch with all her might. Okoye tried to protect Shuri and Riri, even though he was hit. Okoye succeeded, stabbed some of them, but strangely they didn't die. Finally Okoye fell, and Shuri and Riri were taken by Atuma to a ditch. The next morning Agent Rose checked the crime scene last night, and secretly found Shuri's bracelet left behind. At Wakanda, Okoye told her that Namor had a man in such a powerful troop, but Queen Ramonda also fired Okoye as she couldn't guard Shuri, so Shuri was caught by the one who spoke. Queen Ramonda also contacted Shuri's bracelet, which happened to be held by Rose's agent, and Rose immediately said that she found the bracelet at the scene last night. Agent Rose asked what really happened and who kidnapped Shuri, but Queen Ramonda did not tell, said moved to Haiti there. Queen Ramonda meets Nakia. Nakia herself already has a school, and Queen Ramonda immediately says that Shuri has been kidnapped, so she asks Nakia for help to find her. In Yucatan, Mexico, Nakia goes to a tribe that has previously seen Namor on a beach near the area. Nakia asks the woman to take her to that place. On the other hand, Shuri finally meets Namor, and it turns out that Namor lived decades ago, in 1570 BC to be precise. At that time his mother, who was pregnant with him, was dying of illness, and the chief told him to drink a flower herb that grows in the Mexican area. This plant is very similar to the liver plant in Wakanda, but it is blue, and they all turn blue on land and can only live in the water. It was in the water that Namor was born, and in short, Namor's mother died because she was old, but at that time they wanted to bury their mother. They were in their former residence, but there was already a Spanish colonial army that enslaved many people, so Namor massacred them all. Shuri says as Princess Wakanda she can't give Riri to Namor because she has to protect her. Namor also invited Shuri to see the city he had built, the city of Talokan, which looked very peaceful and also very safe. Namor has taken good care of his people. She even made an artificial sun in the sea using vibranium, and of course Shuri was amazed to see the beauty. On the other hand, Nakia has arrived on the coast of Mexico, and she tracked the whereabouts of Shuri using her earrings, and Queen Ramonda told Nakia to bring Shuri safe. Namor gave Shuri a gift because he was the first person from the surface world to see the Talokan. The gift was a very beautiful bracelet and could only be obtained at the Talokan. Namor also asked Wakanda to hand over Riri so that their feud ended soon, but Shuri still refused, and at that time Namor got a call from Ratu Ramonda. At the Central Intelligence Agency, Rose confirmed that Wakanda had not interfered in the attack on the vibranium search ship in the Atlantic Ocean yesterday, and he was suspicious something else attacked the ship on the beach. Queen Ramonda also met Namor, and Namor said Shuri is currently fine, but Queen Ramonda doesn't really believe it and continues to worry. Shuri tells Riri to stay calm, and suddenly Nakia is there to save them. Finally, Shuri meets Ratu Ramonda again, and because of Queen Ramonda's actions, it is certain that Talokan will attack Wakanda for refusing Riri Williams' request for surrender to Talokan. Namor also lead all troops and citizens of Talokan attack Wakanda. He apologizes for endangering Talokan citizens, and they should attack Wakanda who don't want to join them in destroying the country. On the other hand, Riri was surprised to see the magnificent Wakanda outside, and M'Baku was watching the villagers, and Nakia also met with Okoye, who was now just a commoner after being fired, and suddenly Wakanda was attacked by Namor, and the Wakanda troops were also hypnotized by the Talokan people, so that many threw yourself to the river. M'Baku attacked Namor from behind, but it didn't work. Shuri also had trouble shooting Namor, who was very fast in the water, and the plane that Shuri was riding finally fell. Namor arrived at Queen Ramonda and Riri's place. Suddenly Namor blew up the place, causing Riri Williams to faint in the water, and Queen Ramonda tried to reach it, but unlucky Queen Ramonda died at that time. Namor shouted that this was Queen Ramonda's fault herself, who had rejected the agreement given by Namor, and now Shuri has no one else, and is the one who will lead Wakanda when at this time. Queen Ramonda's funeral ceremony was over, and M'Baku gave advice that the Wakandan people evacuate to Jabbar Alain until the situation improves. At his house, Agent Rose was surprised to see Valentina Allegra Therpont, who was already in her kitchen, and she already knew that all this time Agent Rose had been hiding the truth from Wakanda. Even Valentina had known from the start that Agent Rose had Shuri's bracelet. In her laboratory, Shuri had a plan to revive the liver plant. Synthetic Wakanda uses a bracelet given by Namor. Maybe the bracelet contains the right ingredients to make the heart plant. Wakandan residents were also evacuated to Jabberlin to avoid further attacks from Namor. Riri is given the task of making a dryer for the next battle against Amor, while Shuri is busy making synthetic liver plants. Okoye is given a new suit by Shuri so that she can increase her strength. Okoye also invites Aneka back to the Dorami army. Long story short, finally Shuri succeeded in making the synthetic plant, and without thinking twice Nakia and Shuri immediately dissolved the flower for Shuri to drink. Shuri drank the plant, and she entered the astral plane where Wakanda's ancestors were, but strangely she entered the palace from Wakanda. Didn't find anyone there, and instead found Killmonger. Shuri was confused as to why she met her cousin instead of meeting Ratu Ramonda. Did her ancestors leave her? Killmonger said that the previous Black Panthers were all so cowardly that they became the first Black Panther. So Killmonger burned his heart. Another thing that could be Black Panther. Shuri wakes up, and she is angry that she didn't meet anyone there. She said Shuri officially got the power of Black Panther, and when the leaders were discussing about the continuation of Wakanda, Shuri also came wearing a Black Panther suit, and officially Shuri will be the next Black Panther. He will protect Wakanda. Shuri also said that she wanted to take revenge on Namor, who had attacked Wakanda, and finally the leaders agreed they would strike back. M'Baku asked how to attack the Talokan if the Talokan were underwater. Shuri also answered, why to attack us, just lure them out of the water. Before the war, Nakia wants Shuri to be honest who she saw in the astral plane yesterday, but Shuri won't answer her name and her squad detects a vibranium finder and they go check it out. Wakanda comes in a very big ship and straight away drilling the barter of the Amor troops. Finally the battle between the Wakandan forces and also the gap begins. This time, the two countries are balanced because they have equal opponents, namely Shuri as the Black Panther and also Riri, who ironically uses armor Mark II. Namor was also successfully trapped into the dryer made by Riri at the beginning. Knowing that Namor had been trapped, M'Baku immediately ordered the Wakanda troops to retreat. Atuma and Namora led the counter troops to attack the Wakanda ship, and the fight was inevitable. Another position, Namor and Shuri were dueling in the middle of the desert. Namor managed to stab Shuri, and she immediately went looking for water. Shuri also used all her strength to release the spear and finally Shuri was able to burn the weakened Namor. Shuri was given the choice to keep killing the Namor or let her go, and with Queen Ramunda's instructions from the astral plane, finally Shuri ordered Namor to just surrender so that no more bloodshed occurred. In the end, Wakanda and Talokan became allies and the two nations returned to peace. As for now, Wakanda has a heart-shaped plan again, and Shuri bid farewell to Riri and gave her a destroyed car. Because of the chase at the beginning of the film, all the Wakandan tribes gathered to see Shuri, the new Black Panther, however, who appeared instead M'Baku, because Shuri had business. At Talokan, Namor said to Namora, "Gradually, Wakanda will surely be attacked by the outside world, and surely Wakanda will need countermeasures to deal with these countries, and Talokan is able to seek revenge on other surface nations." This captured Ross agent is eventually rescued by Okoye and brings him back to Wakanda. Shuri himself went to Haiti to meet Nakia, and they did a ritual of burning cloth to release Queen Ramunda's departure. Shuri also recalled the previous leadership of T'Challa. In the Shin's credit post, it turned out that Nakia already had a child with T'Challa. Nakia deliberately hid this child in Haiti to avoid the problems that exist in Wakanda. This child was named Tozan, but the name of Wakanda is Prince. Finally, Wakanda still has a successor, and Shuri is not alone anymore. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.